There is chaos. Chaos with voting rights, with women's rights and abortion, with multiple school shootings, with COVID still lurking, with massive problems at the border, chaos with extreme weather events, chaos with trials, multiple trials against one politician, chaos in the Senate, chaos in the House, with the Supreme Court, with the election to come, chaos in Ukraine, chaos between Israel and Hamas, chaos in China and in North Korea. There is chaos in the United States and all over the world. I'm mad, I'm frustrated, and I am deeply concerned. You should be too. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf, and this is A World Gone Mad. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of A World Gone Mad. I'm your host, Jeff Allen Wolf. Why a world gone mad? Well, there's so many weird things and stressful things happening in the world today. And I thought it'd be appropriate to do a show to keep you up to date, informed, and let you know what's happening and give you my comments on it. And you may agree, you may disagree, but hopefully it'll make you think a little bit. So the hardest thing to do a first episode is where to start. And you could throw darts at everything that's happening in the world. You could alphabetize the problems. You could pick the most personal one. And there's no rhyme or reason what to do with the first episode. It's just a starting point. It is impossible to cover everything that's happening in the world today in one show, let alone a weekly show, because so many news events happen between those 7 days. So we're going to try our best. And the biggest thing is, if you have a comment, you can get a hold of us. We'll give that in a little while, either through a toll-free phone number or an email. But response is required. And the best way for any radio show or podcast or any type of broadcast is the audience participation. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm not doing this for fame and fortune. I'm doing this because I have an opinion. We're not going to pull punches on this show. I'm not going to do the spin that most people do on podcasts, or both sides of the aisle do with spin. I'm going to say it as I see it, and right or wrong, I'm going to voice my opinion. And it's up to you to disagree, agree, but that's your choice. Let's start with the extreme weather events. Global warming. And I love this. Global warming is a hoax. There's no such thing as global warming. Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I live in Arizona. It is freaking hot here. Last year, there was 31 or 32 days in a row of over 100-degree temperatures. That's hot, people. So you could deny global warming all you want. It's here. It's real. Scientists agree it's a problem. And I'm sorry, but we need to do something about it 20 years ago. We've jumped the shark on global warming. Okay? We'll talk more on that as we go along during the weeks, but that's just a starting point. So I'm a firm believer in global warming. If you're not, oh well, tell me where I'm wrong, but that's a fact at this point. We're going to jump from topic to topic. Each show is going to have a different way of going in the first couple of minutes. Let's talk about Israel and Hamas. We'll get to Ukraine, but Israel, Hamas. Those poor people in the Gaza Strip area. It is terrible, I agree. But let me say one thing about that war. Don't freaking fire rockets into Israel. How about that? If you don't freaking fire weaponry and rockets into Israel, you won't get a response. It's as simple as that. Did Israel overreact? Absolutely. It's overkill right now. And that has to come to an end. But don't fire rockets into another country, and then you won't get fired upon in return. All right? Switching gears to Ukraine. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think Ukraine is important, then leave the room now. Ukraine is so important, we have to stop Putin. Putin is a second-rate dictator bent on destroying another country, and what he did was atrocious. And what he's doing is atrocious. We need to fund Ukraine. We need to get them the weaponry and money that they need. And Europe and the whole world needs to join in to stop Putin. Because Putin threatened nuclear weapons. He said it as a lighthearted comment, but deep down there's always truth behind comments like that. He mentioned about Poland, and he mentioned about Finland, and if they didn't back down, he would attack them. We need to stop Putin. Hope you understand that, people. That's very important. So please keep the eye on the ball and stop this ridiculous commentary from Congress and all of a sudden the weakening of, well, we're not going to help Ukraine if we don't take care of the border. I'll get to that in a second because the border is important. But we need to fund Ukraine, and everyone needs to realize that. Talk about immigration and the border. Yes, there is a problem at the border. Hey, big surprise from people who know me that I feel that. There is. But one thing I want to make perfectly clear. It is not Joe Biden's doing. The problem at the border has been in the past couple of decades, people, through several administrations. So to lay the blame at Joe Biden's feet saying, damn it, Joe Biden is letting people in, it's open borders and blah, 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 blah. Bullcrap. A lot of people are responsible from this from both sides of the aisle, people. We need to do something about the border. The administration is trying to do something, but the other side is going, well, we don't want to give you a victory because then there'll be talking points before the 2024 election. And that elephant is the election for president in 2024. Here's what we got, folks, okay? We've got Donald, okay, a womanizer, 150 trials against him, a con man, a snake oil salesman, a liar. There's so many things you could say about Donald, okay? Then you got Nikki Haley. Nikki, I have no clue about the Civil War Haley. Nothing to do with racism, right, Nikki? Okay, go back to your history books. Then we got Ron Mini-Me wannabe DeSantis, who dropped out, thank God. And then we got on the other side an old guy. Now, nothing wrong with being old. 80 years old, soon to be 81. If I'm 81 and I'm leader of the free world, I hope I have the energy and the clear thinking that Joe Biden has shown for most of the time he has been in office. Not that Donald is so far behind at 77. But you got Donald, Nikki, no longer Ron, and Joe. Can we do any better, folks? Seriously, what the hell happened to this country? Can we have anybody who can be a better leader than these four, now down to 3 people? And then we talk about Joe's age, but what about Donald, who is confusing Nancy Pelosi with Nikki Haley during January 6th's insurrection? A little bit worried about his brain cells there, guys, okay? So we're talking about Joe, but Donald is, not clearly there. Of course, he would say, wait a minute, I had a mental competency test. Cat, bird, pencil, and door. See, I passed the test. We got to do better than this, folks. We really do. And that's why I'm mad. And that's why I'm down. And that's why I'm frustrated, because this is just garbage right now. Although my favorite comment of the last few weeks has been Robert De Niro, who said, 4 years of Biden on a gurney is still better than 4 more years of Trump in the White House. Think about that. We'll be right back. And as they say, to coin a phrase, the thick plottins. You're listening to a World Gone Mad podcast, and we thank you for doing that. But did you know that you can get a hold of us? That's right, you can give us your comments 2 ways. Email AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. For those of you that are not as shy, you can call us on our toll-free number anywhere in the United States or Canada. That's 833-399-9653. 833-399-WOLF, WOLF. That's right, the last 4 numbers spell my last name. Please give us an email, give us a call. The way podcasters improve or get better or do shows that people like listening to is with your feedback. We appreciate if you call us or leave us an email. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. Let us even know if you disagree with me. You hate what I'm saying. You think I got something wrong. Correct me. The opposite of love is not hate. It's apathy. So if we don't hear from you and it's crickets, it doesn't help the show. 833-399-9653 or AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. Who's going to be the first? Oh, and I didn't tell you the key thing, that if you want us to use your comment on the air, let us know when you make the recording on the phone. If you don't, just say at the start, hi, this is John. Please don't use this. You can read it, but just don't play it. And we'll respect that. Leave your first name, city, state, country where you're calling from, and we look forward to hearing from your comments. We have a segment called, or our second segment of each show is a bizarre and unusual news story that I come across. And this one caught my eyes. The title was Getting High Under the Sea. Getting High Under the Sea. Anybody see this? If you did, right? Okay. If not, dolphins, right? Dolphins are known, not the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are known for their playful and curious nature. But did you know that they have a penchant for getting high? It turns out that some dolphins have been observed deliberately ingesting pufferfish, a type of fish that contains a potent neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, TTX for short, for recreational purposes. Now, TTX is a powerful toxin that could cause paralysis and even death in humans who consume it. However, dolphins seem to have developed a way to safely consume the toxin and experience its mind-altering effects. According to a study published in the journal Aquatic Mammals, dolphins have been seen carefully manipulating pufferfish in their mouths to release just the right amount of TTX before passing the fish around to other members of their pod. Now, can you see this video on National Geographic or Planet Earth? Hey, Fred. What, Ralph? What do you got there? Pufferfish? Really? Why? It's really cool. You should try it. I don't think so. No, seriously, Ralph, try it. All right, let me see here. What do? Just chew on it a little bit. Okay. Wow. Look at the colors and the movement of the ocean. That is wild. Oh, my Lord. Hey, give it back. No, I think I'm going to keep it. Now, while the exact reasons behind this behavior are still unknown among dolphins, some experts speculate that dolphins may be using the toxin as a way to get high. Others believe that the dolphins are simply playing with their food, much like a cat might play with a mouse before eating it. Whatever the reason, the fact that dolphins are intentionally consuming it, a potential deadly toxin, is a testament to their intelligence and adaptability. Way to go, dolphins. We'll be right back. You're listening to a World Gone Mad podcast. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf, your host. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, you can reach us by email or phone number. Our email is AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. That's AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. The phone number, 833-399-9653, 833-399-WOLF, Wolf. Let's hear from you, whether you come across an uplifting story or a bizarre story that you'd like to share with us. We put it on the air, give you credit for it, or you want to take issue with something we talked about in one of our segments. Feel free, or even just to introduce yourself. Become a member of the Wolfpack listeners by emailing us or calling us and letting us know your first name, city, state, country, and where you heard of us from. Is it Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify? Let us know. Looking forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for supporting the show. What do the words twankle, ThunderPlump, and Rawgabbit have in common? Well, besides sounding odd, they are actually Word Warrior's 2024 list of eminently useful words that should be brought back to life to enrich our language. Now, basically, these words are the brainchild of Word Warrior's program, and Mr. Christopher Williams said what these words do is add a certain poetry, and I think it makes our conversation more beautiful, more interesting. The list mainly includes words that have been removed from modern dictionaries, conversations, and the average person's memory. Williams says, I'll see these words that had almost no usage in like 3 or 4 decades. This year marks the 15th annual Words Warrior list. The chosen words are carefully chosen during the year before by public submissions on the program's website and Facebook page. Williams says people can email the words that they come across in reading or in conversation that has just kind of, been lost to time. We have people from Australia and from England, Williams says, who have submitted words. From the entries, the program then announces a new word each week. And throughout the year, Williams monitors the engagement and what he sees which ones are gaining traction. Then picks 10 from the 52, and that's the final Words Warriors list, and in this year, 2024. Now, I was thinking about this, and I have 3 favorite words. I'm going to use 2 of them in a sentence. Late yesterday, early evening, outside of my porch, I looked across the way, and my neighbor was sitting on his front porch, and he was twankling for a little bit, as in the distance you saw an ominous thunderplump happening. What the hey, Jeff? Well, very simple. What am I talking about? Well, twankle, to twang with the fingers on a musical instrument. Thunderplump, a heavy fall of rain during a thunderstorm. And one of my other favorite words on the list is rawgabbit, a person who speaks confidently but ignorantly, i.e., see Donald Trump. Anyways, I want you as the listeners to look up Word Warriors 2024 list and tell me which words or word that stood out to you that really caught your fancy. Love to hear feedback on that in comments to our email or phone number. And that's our uplifting, inspiring story for this episode. We'll be right back. And that's our show for this week. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. We have 3 segments each week. The first part is news around the world and around the United States. Second segment will be bizarre, unusual stories that I come across. And the third segment, the previous one, is an uplifting or inspiring story. You could reach us by email or phone or a toll-free phone number, and it's very important to get feedback from you. Each week I'm going to leave you with a question, and for this episode, the first episode, I'm going to leave you the question with a question from the previous segment. Look up the Word Warriors 2024 list of 10. Tell me which word or words that you enjoyed and why. Our email, AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. That's AWorldGoneMadPodcast@gmail.com. Our toll-free number from anywhere in the continental United States or Canada is 833-399-9653. 833-399-9653, WOLF, the last four numbers. Call us up, and please give us your first name, what city, state, or country you're calling from, and how you're listening to us. Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, that would help us. And if you could also tell us, for example, if you're calling us, hi, I'm John, calling from Denver, Colorado, and I hear you on Apple Podcasts, and also throw in what age you are. Not exact, you don't have to be precise if you don't want to be. I'm 20s, I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. We appreciate your feedback. It is very important to us. This way we know someone out there is listening, and we could tailor the shows to you. This is A World Gone Mad. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. Until next episode, stay hopeful.